Craig Fouhy, Collin Harmon, talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks right now, who are sitting 60 and 65 on the season, 11 and a half back in the NL West, and 6.5 back in the wild card. But is there a problem in the clubhouse with Ketel Marte right now?
It's all everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
It's just spreading like wildfire right now. It's kind of a crazy topic, and it's almost laughable as a Valley sports fan person, whatever you want to call it, where we go from the Suns and the Kevin Durant drama and everything that was going on with that superstar that basically was chased out of town, and now here we are with Ketel Marte and what's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, obviously,
for those that don't have the background, share the background. Nick Pecoro, the Arizona Republic, wrote an article. We've also had other people step into that ring, writing comments and articles. Dan Bickley over at Arizona Sports talking about Ketel Marte and his attitude, right?
Yeah, it started with Bickley, and he got crucified for those comments because I don't think maybe they weren't framed in the proper context. It was coming out of Ketel's house being broken into, and it was like, this seemed like an interesting time to pick this battle with Ketel. But there was also, rumblings going on. And then Nick Pecoro writes the article, which, says basically Ketel's days off have been rubbing teammates and the organization the wrong way now for a while, and it reached a breaking point when they had to sell off a bunch of pieces. And now they're in this weird situation with their very kind of team-friendly contract superstar through 2031. I mean, without question, one of the best players in franchise history. I mean, I think third best wins above replacement out of any player in D-backs history. But if you're a problem in the clubhouse, which became the huge thing, I'll say this about Nick Pecoro. I think there's fans are maybe misguided on this whole like media versus the D-backs, media versus the fans thing. Like, Nick's not a clickbait guy. He's more plugged in than anybody with the Arizona Diamondbacks beat. He's been doing it for like 20 plus years. I mean, he's close with like Hazen in the front office. Like, I mean, he is very, very plugged in. He doesn't just write that on a whim. It's not, one disgruntled player brings us up in the clubhouse, I'm going to run with this story. I don't know the full details of where everything is, but like I said, he's very, very plugged in with that front office, with that clubhouse. Like, he doesn't write it off one guy. So it may be some player, whoever's not with the team anymore, that originally voiced the frustrations. Okay, that plants the seed, and then Pecoro starts asking questions and gets confirmation from. He doesn't run that off of one, even two hearsay things. So I think that's where fans are kind of blowing this out of proportion of like,
fans are attacking Nick on this thing. It's like he didn't. And here's the thing: he's a reporter. This is what he does for his living, right? It's what we do. When you hear whispers about something, what did we talk about with Kyler Murray years ago, right? His attitude, his leadership skills, right? And we just kind of kept harping on that. And now he's coming into year 7 with Ketel.
I'll stop you because I think that's a whole totally different argument, because Kyler's you could see on the field. Anybody watching on TV or could see that.
Fair enough.
Listen, Kyler, I understand the fans from afar with Ketel.
Right.
This guy is the best player on this baseball team.
Sure.
And the timing of the article was strange because he had just like almost single-handedly carried them to 2 wins in Texas against the Rangers.
Yes, we could do it. We could talk about Kevin Durant and his leadership skills, but Kevin Durant played most games, right? Ketel Marte, just for reference, the D-backs have played 125 games. Ketel has participated in 92. He's played in 92. Last year, 162-game season, he played in 136. And if we go back to last year, it was right before the wild card was coming about, the last week of the season. Final week, when the D-backs had a chance to maybe sneak in there. Where was Ketel?
Asked for a day off.
That's
problematic.
And that goes back to last season. And now you come into this season.
They missed by a game.
Yes. And now you come into this season and he's taken days off before the All-Star game, after the All-Star game, right? There's time. The timing of the days off are curious.
100%. So you bring up 92 out of 125 that he's played in. 4 of those were pinch hitting appearances.
Okay.
So he's played in essentially 88 full games out of 125. But again, the timing. He missed 3 of the last 9 before the All-Star break, including the last game going into an All-Star break. You know you're going to get some days off. And you ask for a day off. Bizarre when you're in a precarious situation where you spent this kind of money as an organization. You're falling this far behind in a playoff race, and you need to win every single game. Then you go to Atlanta, and you had no problem legging out a double playing in that game.
In the All-Star game, yep.
And then you immediately aren't back. So that's where it then becomes the house thing. And I thought it was interesting with Pecoro's article where saying he was back in the Dominican Republic and didn't find out about his house being broken into in Scottsdale until he was already there. Like it was a pre-planned trip that it sounded like Torey Lovello and the organization weren't aware of.
See, that's the interesting part.
Torey talked about it post-game, I think a couple days ago, and he was unsure that his expectation was that Ketel was going to be on a plane with family members and with Corbin Carroll and Gino Suarez coming back or wherever they're from Atlanta, and instead he was in the Dominican and then found out. So again, take away the break-in, which anyone that's had even
been there twice
victimized, it's awful. Like it's an awful feeling. But let's just strip that away from the equation. Like the timing, just there's things that aren't really adding up.
No, and I guess that's the question of all of this is where is he mentally? Where is he with his teammates? Obviously, Geraldo Perdomo comes in and interrupts Torey Lovello's post-game news conference after the Rockies finale, which, by the way, they lose 3 out of 4 to the Rockies at Colorado, which is a terrible baseball team this year. And somehow they managed to lose 3 of 4. But after that Sunday game, Geraldo comes in and interrupts Torey Lovello's just to defend Ketel Marte, which is very awkward.
It's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a complete mess. And it shouldn't have gotten to this. And then that's where you can start asking questions. How did we get to this point?
To here.
Is this a managerial thing to just allow this to fester for how many years now?
Right. And like I said, going into last year, he played 136 out of 162 games last year. The year before that, he played 150 out of 162. The year before that, 137. I mean, so it goes back a ways, but you're looking at him now and going, why is this guy taking so many days off? He's 31 years old. I mean, what's the situation with him? Is he,
it's nobody can really answer that outside of Ketel. He doesn't. He's the only one that knows how his body feels. Right. I think my bigger gripe, take that away, is just kind of this firestorm going on of the fan base angry at.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's the bigger thing.
Don't get mad at the messenger, right? Don't shoot the messenger. Right?
Yeah.
We sometimes say things, and listen, everybody does. Everybody says things. They get upset about their team. They say things because they're frustrated. And we are the same way. We're no different. We're in the media, and we see things going on. It's like, and I'll argue this point. From a coaching perspective, team chemistry is so critical for success, right? And if you have guys upset at one guy in the clubhouse or the locker room that's not playing, that's getting more days off than everybody else, that festers and that ruins team chemistry. And you can't afford to have team chemistry at the highest level of sport affect your wins, losses. It's as simple as that. And I know in this day and age, and I said this on the radio show today, just in this day and age of fantasy sports, when all we think about are stats, right? How many touchdowns, how many catches, how many yards? It's team chemistry. It's the team building that Kenny Dillingham does at Camp Tonazzone. It's those kind of things that make wins and losses happen. Wins. And when you've got this festering in the clubhouse, somebody's looking over their shoulder, somebody's listening, somebody's looking cross-eyed at Ketel. Another day off. Oh, what do you know? Another day to pinch hit. What do you know?
Yeah, it's
not good.
You're a professional athlete.
Correct.
You're paid very handsomely.
Yes.
To go out and win baseball games.
Yep.
Baseball's certainly not the most taxing sport. And, when you got a bunch of guys that are fighting through certain things and playing, and you have one that is asking for days off at the most inopportune times when you're fighting for your playoff lives, the lives of, here in Arizona for you and your family to stay and not be shipped out of town to who knows where. I mean, I would understand the frustration from certain members in the team. Where I am kind of just lost on this whole thing is the anger about like, oh, this completely tore down the Diamondbacks who are going to make this giant charge back to the playoffs. Like, these are professional athletes, Well, go out and win a baseball game.
But if you remember, Colin, it was before the trade deadline, right? When all the rumors were swirling about Suarez and Naylor and Gallen and Kelly and all the different guys. The team was playing terribly, right? When they knew they had to play better to get to that trade deadline to maybe keep the team intact, they played bad.
They lost 8 of 9
Yes.
up to the deadline.
They played terrible. And so you go back to that. Is that our fault that people across the country have thrown names out as the possible trade guys? No.
Remember, that's where it kind of started,
yes,
too.
It
with
was.
That.
It was. We were talking about it. It's like, my gosh, if you're trying to stay on a team, go win. And you said it just a minute ago. You're paid handsomely to win games, not just to play, to win.
So where do they go from here? I mean, is this untenable?
No, I think you have to have a team meeting. I think you have to pull the team together, and I think it has to be Torrey, Mike Hazen, maybe Derek Hall, and you've got to come together and say, look, let's put an end to this right now. Let's talk this through. Nothing's off limits, right? Let's just talk through it, because we can't keep blaming Nick Piecoro or the news media for this.
Right, and I think it's unfair to say that, no one's blaming Ketel Marte for where the Diamondbacks are this season.
No.
Nobody.
Nope.
Sure, it was the injuries. You want accountability.
Yeah.
Honestly, where's the accountability for Torey Lovello? Like, it's 2 years now of we're blaming the injuries.
Yeah.
And is it all on Torey? 100% not.
He changed some coaching staff members too.
You can't get rid of 26 players.
No, you can't.
So where does that lead to?
Yeah. How many times can we rebuild the bullpen? How many times can we rebuild the starting lineup? How many times can we hire new coaches, new position coaches? I mean, they've had some position coaches that have not worked out well this year.
Horrible. Yeah. And you could see the frustration yesterday in Colorado with Jake McCarthy being held up halfway home, and he was not happy at
he was
third
not.
base coach Shane Larkin. But you have a notoriously cheap owner in Ken Kendrick who just decided since the World Series to spend, and it's been 2 abysmal years in a row where, okay, you can blame this, that, or the other, but at some point there's a common denominator, and all of this is not getting to where this team needs to go. And if that is that the front-facing leaders in this clubhouse, is it the manager and the coaching staff? Did the front office completely fail them and building out a bullpen for a second straight year and not getting guys that can stay healthy? Injuries. I mean, we can point this way or the other.
And we haven't even brought up Zach Gallen's terrible ERA this year, right? In a contract year, a guy who's been the ace for the team suddenly has a down year. There's so many elements to this.
So yes, 100%. And everyone now wants to focus on, now everyone's just blaming Ketel Marte for why we've gotten here.
Yes,
that's not the case. And again, I want to reiterate that, like, I don't know Nick very well at all outside of just being
professional,
at similar Diamondbacks practices. But like, he doesn't just write that on a whim, with one person saying something.
Confirmation. You need confirmation.
Again, he is one of the most plugged in, if not the most plugged in people covering the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he has been for a long time. So, like, kind of where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yes.
There is absolutely something to this.
Yeah.
Who can be the bigger party here and just sit everybody down and make this not a thing anymore?
That's
because
my point.
No one wants to lose Ketel Marte. You don't want to trade a superstar who's on a very friendly contract for quite some time
5
from
more
now.
years,
He's a great baseball player.
Yeah.
You got to be there for your baseball team on the same time.
Correct.
Like, it goes both ways.
It does.
It does. Sure, this isn't Ketel's fault, but Ketel's fault entirely, but at the same time, dude, and your team needs you when you're trying to get back into the playoffs 2 years in a row.
And you brought up Nick Piecoro, and he doesn't get this information without players trusting him. And that's how plugged in he is to that clubhouse, right? Players trust him. He's out at spring training. We see him at every spring training practice. He's at every game. I mean, that's how you build trust with guys. So guys obviously trust him to share some of those thoughts. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone with the story.
This is a mess.
It's a
mess.
Sadly.
Again, it feels like every time there's chasing players out of town.
Go back to December when they signed Corbin Burns, right? You looked at this roster and coming into spring training, you're like, this is a potential World Series team. They've got the depth, they've got the pitching staff, they've got Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt, Eduardo Rodriguez. I mean, they've got guys that can play, and the position players. And now look where we're at.
It's 2 years in a row that you could say that going into a season, that you have this many guys. They spent this kind of money.
Yeah.
A lot of it has not panned out.
Nope.
And
sadly.
So, okay, who's to blame?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be accountability.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That doesn't fall squarely on Ketel's shoulders.
Nope. No,
it's
a team.
But it squarely falls on the organization as a whole, the leaders in the clubhouse.
Yeah. It's trying.
manager in the front office. Like,
it's trying to blame the head coach of the Suns for the problems the Suns have had, or trying to blame Devin Booker, or trying to blame. It's a team sport, right? It's a team game, and so it takes everybody in that clubhouse together to win and to have success. And clearly, there's something wrong. They're not firing on all cylinders.
Well, this isn't just a defending of the media either, because we're in the media. Like, I just don't understand. No. And I know fans on social media are. It's their team. They're upset. Like, got to find somebody to blame.
I'm upset too.
It's just kind
I
of
wanted to go back to the playoffs.
It's silly where this has all gotten to, and
I'm selfish. I want to go back to the playoffs. I love the World Series.
Wasn't that fun?
It was fun. The NBA Finals, all that stuff. The Super Bowl with the Cardinals. I love all those things, right? The Stanley Cup playoffs. Oh, we don't have a hockey team anymore. Never mind.
This hasn't been fun.